What's the best video editing app on Android right now? Well, since our last video, there's been some awesome new updates and some big changes to the leading Android video editors. So here's our latest recommendations. Hey, it's Justin Brown here from Primal Video. We release a ton of content to help you get better results with your videos faster. If you're new here, then make sure you click that big subscribe button, and all the links to everything we mentioned in this video you can find linked in the description box below. So let's jump into it. Every year, the video editing apps on Android and iPhone seem to get more and more powerful. We did a full overview of the video editing landscape on both Android and iOS late last year, but there's been some significant app updates since then, so it's time for a fresh review. In case you missed it, in the last round, we narrowed the choices down to Cyberlink's Power Director and KineMaster. Both of these have had some significant updates since then, and there's also a number of newer apps which are promising to do things even better. After testing and retesting all the best options, in this video I'm going to run through my latest picks for best video editing apps on Android, and I'll also show you just how easy it is to edit with our top pick. And stick around to the end, because after that I'll also be sharing 3 bonus tips that everyone can use to speed up your editing and reduce rework no matter which editing app you choose. And while you're watching, make sure to let us know in the comments what your favorite video editing app is right now and why. Your recommendation may help someone else figure out which app is right for their videos. I'll be watching in the comments too, so I'll see you down there. Okay, so after testing all the major apps that are currently available, things like WeVideo, Filmora Go, Adobe Clip, Power Director, Viva Video, Video Shop, CuteCut, and KineMaster, we narrowed the shortlist down to, once again, Power Director and KineMaster. Overall, we found most of the video editing apps that we tested were very basic or template or theme based and didn't really give you advanced or full control over your video editing process. Apps like Adobe Premiere Clip, which seem to have a heap of people using them and a huge fan base, really are limited in functionality when it comes to editing on Android, especially when you're comparing them to apps like Power Director and KineMaster. CuteCut is another one that seems to be really popular, and it has come a long way, and it is a decent option for editing videos on Android, but in my opinion it falls down with very limited color correction and color control, and the interface definitely isn't as easy to use or as intuitive when compared to our top picks. So as I said, we've narrowed this list down to 2, and these 2 are the closest mimicking video editing on a desktop computer on an Android device. These are really powerful applications and will allow you to get really great results with your video editing. But this year is not the same as last year. Last year there were a whole lot of differences between the 2. The strengths of one were balanced out by the other's weaknesses. So this time around we've actually got a clear winner. But let's run through the pros and cons of each of them first, as well as some cool updates that both of them have had since last year. Cyberlink Power Director has totally redone its color correction or color control tools. It is now by far the most advanced and easiest to use and most powerful color correction tools on any video editing application on Android. They've also added in a heap of really decent title templates as well, and they've also got the ability for you to purchase more directly from inside the app. They've also had major performance updates on the app, and it's now supported on a much larger range of devices as well with the full feature set. Previously, there was a heap of devices that didn't have access to the latest features that were in Power Director, but now there's a heap more that are supported. The only main feature I think that Power Director is still missing is the ability to add your color corrections to an entire video layer, meaning any clip that's on that video layer can be corrected the same without needing to apply each of the effects or controls to each of the clips on that timeline. So to be able to grade everything and apply one effect to the lot would be amazing, or at least have the ability to copy and paste your presets or whatever you're applying to the effects, your color controls, to multiple clips. That would be a huge addition. But it's not a deal breaker the way it is. It just means you've got to change up your workflow so that you're potentially color grading your clips up front. Moving on to KineMaster, which has seen some pretty decent updates as well. The overall performance has improved. The range of devices that now get the full feature set of KineMaster has improved as well. There's a lot more effects for both video and audio, and the speed control for slowing up or speeding down your video clips has seen some improvement as well. They've also recently added in the support for color LUTs, which is an amazing feature, but overall the color correction on KineMaster is nothing in comparison to Cyberlink Power Director. One other thing to be aware of with KineMaster is that there is currently no way to purchase it outright so that you own the app and you are able to get all the future updates. It is currently a subscription-based model, which means that you're either going to be paying around $5 per month or around $42 per year to have access to the watermark-free version. So there's no watermark on your outputted video files. So it's not a deal breaker, and really it's not a lot of money considering how powerful this app is, but it is definitely something to be aware of. Power Director, on the other hand, you can purchase outright for $6, and that will give you access to 4K. That will give you the watermark free version as well, and that's something that's not $6 a month or so much per year. It's $6 as a one-off. So overall, between KineMaster and Power Director, my personal pick this year, right now, is Power Director. It is an app that I use almost every week on my Android device. I think it is really, really powerful. I love the interface. It's so easy to use. The built-in color correction tools are amazing. The fact that you can easily switch your video between a portrait and a landscape video, if you want to quickly edit down something like an Instagram story, you have that ability to do this really, really easily. And your output options are amazing. The quality is kept all the way through. So overall, looking at these top two editing packages, my preference, my pick as best Android editor right now is Cyberlink Power Director. Now, what I'm going to do quickly before we get to those 3 bonus tips to help you edit faster in any app, I just want to run through a quick walkthrough to show you how easy it is to edit in Power Director and how powerful it is. So when you open up Power Director, the first thing you want to do is create a new project. Give your project a name, call this one JB, and then you can select if you want portrait or landscape for your video and then hit OK. So this is the Power Director interface. You can see you've got your play button, your settings button, and your export button in the right hand side. And on the left hand side, you've got links to your effects, your layers, and your import media button there as well. So we'll start off by adding in some video footage. We'll hit that media button. We'll come and find a video file in here. So you can go through and add in as many video clips as you like, select the ones that you want, hit the plus, and then drop down into the timeline. To get back to the interface, just hit the back button in the top left corner a couple of times, and you're back then on your editing interface. Now, you can see that we've got 2 clips in the timeline here. As we just scrub left and right on the timeline, you can see that we're moving our playback head, or we can see what's in these clips. With these clips, what we can do is we can tap on them, we can pick them up, we can move them around. You can see that I've just swapped the position of the 2 clips there then. We can tap on a clip and you see that we get these 2 green handles on either side. This is to adjust the start point and the end point of that individual clip. So if we press and hold and drag, you can see that we've just shortened the clip down and changed the start point to start a little bit later. So we can do exactly the same on the end. Shorten that down there as well. Now you can easily split the clips as well. If we come down a little bit further, select this second clip, and you'll see then when we've got the clip selected, we get a different set of menu options on the left hand side. There is a razor blade there, so if we press the blade, then we've then cut our clip in 2. So now we've got 3 clips in the timeline. And again, when you tap the clips, you get the 2 little green handles that you can adjust the start and the end point of each of those individual clips. So if you want to remove a chunk of the video footage, we could come across here a bit further, tap on the screen, go up to the razor blade, add another cut, select that new little clip that we've got in the middle there, and then there's a trash can on the left. If we press that, that will delete that clip, and it's gone, and it closes up the gap. So you can see how easy it is to be able to cut down your video footage in here. But what we'll look at next is show you how to import some B-roll or overlay footage. So you can do that up here under the 2 squares, the layers button here, and then choose video. Once again, we go through and pick out our video files that we want to add. Select the file, hit the plus, but you'll see that it's dropped onto a separate video layer, which is really powerful. And you can also see then in the bottom here that we've actually got multiple video layers that we can use. Exactly the same with these clips. We can select them, we can pick them up and move them around. And when we select them, we also get the handles so that we can adjust the start and the end point of these clips as well. And with the clip selected, you can see up in the top, in the playback area, we can also adjust the size and rotation of these clips and move them around. So we can stretch it up to full screen or have it smaller and use it as a picture-in-picture effect. Now, one of the other really powerful features in Power Director is the audio mixing. So if you press up on the settings wheel and then choose audio mixing. Now in here, you can manually adjust the volume levels for the different video and audio layers in there. It's just a matter of using the sliders to adjust how loud or quiet you want the audio on each of the individual tracks. So that is really, really powerful. So now let's take a look at some of the color correction tools that we get. So if we select one of these clips, we'll go up to the pencil, which is the edit button. And in here, this is where you can edit things like volume. We can flip the clip. We can adjust the speed. So speed it up, slow it down. We can duplicate it, crop it, adjust the color. We can rotate it, and we can play it backwards as well. So let's go into color. And in here, we've got three main settings. We've got white balance down the bottom left. We've got our brightness, contrast, and saturation in the middle. And then we've got our color filters on the top. So the color filters are just like you'd find in Instagram. These are preset filters that you can just drop onto your clips to give it a certain look. But where the color correction is really powerful here in Power Director is down under white balance and under the brightness, contrast, saturation. So the combination of these two is really powerful. So you can see that just by adjusting the color temperature, we're able to add more blue or add more yellow or make the shot cooler or warmer. And we can also adjust the tint too. So we can add more green or add more pink to our shot to really correct any mistakes that may have happened while filming. And then you can come over to your brightness, saturation, and contrast to tweak that further. And then when you've finished editing down your video, to export it, all you need to do is hit in the top right corner, the export button, and choose produce video. And that will give you a heap of different options to save it to your gallery or SD card, share on Facebook, share on YouTube. You can even export the project direct to Cyberlink Cloud. So if you're editing on the Cyberlink desktop app as well, Power Director, then you can transfer your project from here and finish it on your PC. So that's pretty cool. But what I would suggest you do here is select more output options. And under here is where you'll get your full range of settings. So you can see we've got the options for 4K, Full HD, HD, and SD. So if we leave it on 4K and hit settings, then we get to choose where we want to save it, whether it's to internal storage or whether it's to an additional memory card. We can also adjust the bitrate, which is the quality of the video. So whether you want a better quality, standard, or a smaller file size for your export. And you can also adjust your frame rate here as well. You have the choice of 24 frames per second or 30. So we'll go OK, and all you then have to do is hit next, and your file is then exported out and saved on your device. So that's a really quick walkthrough to show you just how powerful and simple editing in Power Director is. Alright, so 3 tips for editing videos faster no matter which app or software you're using. The first one is to edit backwards. So normally what will happen when you're creating your videos is you're presenting to camera, you're talking through, you might stumble and do a couple of retakes, but if you make sure that your last take is always the best take and you only move on to the next section once you're happy with the last one, then the editing tip is to edit backwards. So this is going to save you a heap of time. So instead of editing left to right, edit right to left, and you'll always hit your best take or the one that you want to use first. So then it's just a matter of scrubbing through your timeline backwards, finding those best takes and removing all the mistakes, all the crap in the middle, and you'll get your huge amount of footage down to something small and manageable really, really quickly. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to make sure that wherever possible, your editing project matches the frame rate and the resolution of the video footage you're editing. So if you're recording your videos at 1080p 30 frames per second, then make sure that you're editing them at 1080p 30 frames per second as well, and exporting your videos at 1080p 30 frames per second as well. This way you're not going to have any changing of frame rate, which could give you jittery or stuttery playback, and you're also going to keep the best quality all the way through. So one thing that we see all the time is that people are recording these videos that look really good, but when they get into their editing and to their exporting, they're losing a heap of quality and the motion's off. This is all due to your editing settings and your export settings. So pay a little bit of attention and check to make sure that your editing project settings match your camera footage and also match your export settings to be the same. Tip number 3 is to focus on your editing first and not get carried away and distracted with all of the effects and transitions and color and everything that most people jump to. Most people want to jump straight in and make their videos look good straight out. So they'll jump in and put a heap of color corrections and all these other effects and transition and things on their footage, which all that does is slow down the process. But if you don't go through and cut down your footage first, then you might find later, after you've applied all of these things and slowed down your system or your Android device for your editing, that the footage, there could be something wrong with it. You might have missed something. Your video, you might not even be able to progress further with it, yet you've wasted a heap of time adding all these effects and transitions and things. So focus on getting your content down first. Make sure you're happy with your content and then progress to color corrections and effects and things to make it look good. So these are just 3 tips from our video editing process guide, the Primal Video Method. Linked on screen now is links to the Primal Video Method video and also a direct link to where you can download the PDF. I'll see you soon.